All right, Jamie, may we please start the meeting?
Okay. I will go ahead and establish a quorum. Commissioner O'Reilly. Vice Chair Cohen. Chair Dixit. Commissioner Olson.
Here.
Commissioner Buckles.
Yes.
And Commissioner Nagel. We do have a quorum of 6 commissioners present. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Shall we discuss public comments that?
Yes, we do have a card handy, so we have one that has been turned in. And so we can go ahead and allot the full 3 minutes. And that person is Alice Mansell.
Hello, fellow seniors. I'm a Los Altos resident, and I've been working in downtown Los Altos since about 4th grade, way back in the early 70s. So it's a shocking to be a senior now. Welcome to the club, right? I sent about 1 p.m. today public comment to you about $5.5 million worth of building projects that are currently going on in the Civic Center area. Specifically, see Operation Center new generator, its fuel tank and its drainage field, the dog park, and also the Los Altos Youth Center conversion project. For those, I assume no one's going to read my public comment yet. The only one of those projects, again, over $5.5 million being spent, is the dog park had staff give the Park Recreation Arts and Culture Commission for the dog park some options on the configuration and some options on the parking mitigation, because there's a whole mess of parking spots that are being lost because of the dog park and the generator and fuel tank and fence and drainage field. And they include things like doing parking over at the police station lawn, taking out the 3 apricot trees that are by the police station, communication tower, and some other proposals. The city staff did not let the Park and Rec Committee vote on the parking mitigation ideas. They were just allowed to give input. The same thing happened at City Council. I, however, believe, as a resident, that those should be subject to much more public discussion. I've gone to the Library Commission last week to say, I think you all should put your oar in, and I think you, us as seniors, should put our oar in. Where do we want parking? And in addition to that, so that's, and I've given you a copy of the dog park plan that has the parking mitigation. In addition to that are 2 sets of plans, one for the Los Altos Youth Center conversion that involves some new privacy fences for the city manager's office, like 6-foot-high fences on the orchard side, and also the EOC generators and stuff. Neither of these had any public review at all to date. When I went in to try to see the plans in June, city staff told me they were copyrighted and that they were not subject to public review because they were exempt because they fell under a certain square footage. And when I got into a discussion about how they calculate the square footage, I thought, I don't think your math is adding up. But there it is. I urge you to look at these. I got a public records request to get them. They're just not posted anywhere. But now you'll have them because I put them on attachments to my public comment, and I made it open for anybody with the link to look at it. Because I think this is very important. If the city spends $5.5 million on 3 different projects that involve changing parking and changing hardscape and all sorts of things, I think we should have more input and not just have a staff discussion. So thanks so much for listening to me. I really appreciate it. And thank you.
Thank you. Is there are any other items for consideration?
For items not on the, or at least public comment for not on the agenda, that is the only one at this time. And there is not currently anyone in attendance, online, but they wouldn't be able to comment either. It would just be for viewing purposes only.
Thank you for raising that to our attention. Let's move on to the minutes of last meeting. Does everyone approve of the minutes? Has everyone gone through them? I move to approve.
I second.
All those in
All
favor?
those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? No.
Any abstentions? No. Okay, they go ahead and pass unanimously.
Thank you. The next item is the Senior Commission on Health Fair, which was in ad hoc subcommittee of me. So should I go ahead and talk about that? Are we able to put it up on the?
Yes, I can go ahead and share that. Did you want to have the report up on the screen?
Why not? Sure.
Give me just one moment.
Oh, she don't, if it's difficult, then we don't need to, I see. it.
Oh, no, it's, I just needed a chance to find my.
I'm just happy to look at it.
There we go.
Very nice.
A little bit easier to read.
Very nice. So I was very happy to spend time thinking about this and met up and talked to some interesting people about having a health fair. This was I have attended one or two health fairs before, but not here, not in this town. So it was very exciting to learn and try and think about what could happen. And at the end, I had a discussion with Jamie about it last month and wrote it up. So at your leisure, you can look at the notes and go through it, but I won't spend more time on it right now. Because as it turns out, funnily, there was somebody else who was thinking about the health fair. And today we found out that it's going to actually happen this year. My plan was to have the health fair next year. And today we would have discussed it as a team. But I would say we can scrap it for right now and move on to better agenda, better spent on other agenda items. But this was something that I had written up and we can discuss at some time when we're all free again.
Some people want to discuss it because it's imminent, it's gonna happen in October instead of in the spring, correct?
Well, no, if it already happens, the main objective in my mind is that one should have a health fair, which is happening, which should be directed towards seniors. That's happening. So instead of having time spent thinking about it happening next year, we can discuss it when the item comes up for October. Is that?
But as long as we discuss it today, yeah. Sorry.
But I do want to say something that, neither Jamie or I asked Jamie when I came in. She did not know about it in June when I discussed with her. And I did not have a chance to find out about the other health fair. I don't think it was ever discussed. I just met Lynette outside and she said that she had planned it for a grant. So we didn't have any idea about this.
Okay, because I was looking at the flyer, it was put out by, Club 55 as in Parks and Rec. I thought, right? Had those two names on.
Which flyer are you referencing? Because there is Club 55. That is a different.
I don't have it sitting in front
No,
of
the
me.
healthcare at the bottom said to ask more, you have to talk to Club 55, no, Club 50 plus, adult 50 plus.
Right.
This is the flyer.
Contact adult 50 plus, not
Right.
Club 50.
So where is the missing link? Where is, I mean, we're all using city staff. Where's the communication? Is,
I think it may not have come up for discussion on the agenda, that's all.
But we did talk about it, and, we wanna have it, of course. And it was mentioned to me, I'm not sure about the whole group, that, we didn't have the bandwidth for the staff to participate so quickly, to have it in the fall, and we were gonna have it in the spring, we were gonna work together investigating all of it. And all of a sudden, we get this flyer that it's a done deal. So it was pretty surprising. And also it's surprising that it's, sponsored by Parks and Rec. It's not sponsored by also the senior commission, because we wanted to be actively engaged in it. Was that your impression, Chris, or-
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so all of a sudden it happened and we get it. And anyway, I think we should discuss it. Okay, so are we gonna do it now or wait for the informational?
We can discuss it.
So we do need to be specific. And so I know it's a similar event, but we can't tie the two topics. The agenda, the item that we're talking about is the ad hoc committee and Shawbury's report. And so pulling in the other one is gonna make it a little, I know they're linked a little bit, but the topic, at least the first agenda item is specific to Shawbury's report. And at least specific to whether or not the senior commission wanted to do an event, or based upon the ideas that Shawbury's report had put together.
So I will go ahead and say, everyone please spend time reading the report that I have made. And then we can discuss,
I'm a little confused because the topic, from my perspective, is healthcare, regardless of the source of the creator. So the creation of the health fair that is on the flyer is very different from Shawbury's creation. And it's different from other kinds of health. I've been to a lot of health fairs. So it strikes me that there are two things going on. One is that hand doesn't know what this hand is doing. And two, that the communication that would bring ideas together and possibly have a synergistic outcome is not available. The senior commission, we have enjoyed healthcare. Some of us have actually given it. So we have ideas that may be germane to the creation of something that is going to be costly. So in the sense of the commission is well aware of the need to be parsimonious so that we can fund the various things that the commission would like to see happen in the world. So I think the word I'm looking for is miffed.
I'd be glad to speak to this. So it's not about being miffed. It's about what can we do for our seniors? So as people know, I tend to host coffee, community, and conversation events at Grant. And because many things that occur in South Los Altos is not as desirable for the Grant Park senior community to feel like they're, they appreciate when things come to them there as well. So what happened was, part of my coffee community and conversation event was to host a smaller fair in Grant Park, because I do tend to, lead events in Grant Park. So was just another event that I was leading at Grant Park. I did hope that it could have been for discussion today, to be agendized, so we could further discuss it, so you could endorse what is happening at Grant Park and be a part of it. So it's not like, you can, and I would encourage you to still have that discussion, because as you put together your fair, we should be, like the other cities, having a fair every year. It's not just because we're having one this year, you don't have one next year. See, that is something I would be disappointed on, and because it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to put these things together. In addition, as a Grant Park, as a senior commission, for some reason, it takes 2 people to be on the committee. And then you guys gotta report back. And then you have to agendize, discuss it. And it's not about staff. This one at the Coffee Conversation Community event at Grant, most of the work is done, most of the work is done by me. And I do get a little staff support. So it's not like staff is working on this. So let me clarify that. So as Chris is a avid, dedicated volunteer at Grant, she can speak to that. That all these coffee community events, I take the work and I take it on. So know that, this is also an opportunity to have a model to build upon. And I was hoping that you had a model to build upon. When it comes to the facility, it'll be better because it's a bigger facility, but majority of the work is established.
So why would you look to us to sanction this event? Because you initiated it, we had nothing to do with it. And I totally agree with you that, based on the long history, you have topics brought up at Grant for that community alone, and that's just great. And so Senior Commission doesn't really have anything to do with it, so why are you looking to us to sanction it?
I would look to the Senior Commission to endorse it and support it, because this is for seniors. It looks great if the Senior Commission as well was supportive of what's going on, for seniors.
Well, we need that to have this to be successful.
It would be nice.
Well, nice is one thing, but I'm totally with Bill on this, because he had no background, no history, no prior knowledge of this is happening, and then all of a sudden it's popped on us and said, here it is, approve it. So that doesn't really seem like logical. But that being said, I totally agree that this is wonderful, really wonderful. And I think we should go ahead and do one, perhaps based, just like you mentioned, based on this, perhaps expanded for fully fledged event that will involve speakers, not just simply vendors coming in and more or less spreading their stuff and talking about it, but also having some speakers, more or less what Shivani had. And that is, essentially an event, maybe not even call it a health fair, call it something else, health for the seniors of Los Altos seniors or something to that effect.
Well, that's why you have your agenda item for discussion today, because you can talk about how you intend to expand your.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with this, as far as I'm concerned. You're
You're right.
doing
You're right.
this on your own, so let's go ahead and do it. Sorry, I just want to avoid feeling.
No, yeah.
What you did is brilliant. And brilliance of it is exposing that the emperor is nude. That in order to get something done, it requires the initiative of someone who has the fortitude and intelligence to make something good happen. The communication between Grant and Hillview, I don't know whether that exists or not. But I think that what you've shown is that small, either individuals or small groups, are infinitely more effective and efficient in getting things done.
Well, it was also, this year is like the 10th anniversary of the Grant Park Community Senior Center. So it was important to do something special to acknowledge it.
Listen, I'm a cheerleader for you.
Yeah, we'll come attend.
Yeah, no problem.
That'd be great.
We'll do it,
But
yeah.
I'm looking at the wisdom behind what happened. Is that somebody said, something needs to happen for all the reasons that you described. It does not take away from anything else, but it does suggest a flaw and an opportunity in the way that the senior commission works for us to be more effective in helping the community use our combined experience and motivation for helping the senior community. So I know that's kind of off the topic of healthcare, but I think that it's still true.
And I'd like to add one thing with what Dr. Buckhold said. When we met in June, we did meet in June. That was the first time we talked about the possibility of a health fair. All of us were present. It was a full forum at that time. And we talked about it. Before that, even I had no idea about a health fair. I heard about it for the first time and I said, oh, I'd be interested. So I went back and I worked on it. If even at that point, any of us had any idea that this was on the agenda for Grant, we may not have put it on the agenda for today. It's fine whenever it's happened. It's great that it's happening. I'm just saying that there is a better way to allocate everybody's time and resource if only we communicate with each other in a better way. That's all.
It's not meant in any offense, but
No, it's not taken.
I want to make sure that because, how would I say, the senior commission, putting on the fair is something that is dependent on staff work. It is important that you have a lead way to have the opportunity to work on it.
Yeah,
Because if there wasn't something to build upon, I think that it would take a little longer.
So I have a couple, was I the next one? Okay, thank you. I have two things. So I love the idea of it, and it's where it's, we can learn from what was really worked well. at this health fair and expand on it for the one in the spring. And I think just being on the senior commission and I think putting egos or whatever aside, and we just should be here to support helping our seniors get informed in the fall. So, fantastic. So is there a way that we can, because, yeah, I looked as if it was the rec and then also club, no. Club
Adult 50.
Adult 50. So where does that fall in compared to us? I don't know. Or where within the city do those fall in? Or is that just, I don't know how they got involved. And then my other question is, I know we have a meeting in June and then we asked for agenda items for the next meeting. And how did it get here if it wasn't brought up in June?
On the future agenda items. I think it was.
This is,
Was it?
this was the ad hoc committee that I had said in June I would work on. So this
Yeah.
is the report that I
But
gave.
how did this one get on here?
That's what it is. That's
This
the,
one?
that's the, yes, that's part of the agenda that was added.
Okay,
In
okay, I
June.
was thinking Lynette brought this one.
No,
Okay.
Lynette's is here.
Okay. but
That's
we
why
brought it
Jamie
up
had
now.
said that we should not talk about number 6 when we are discussing number 2. That's what Jamie was saying.
Okay. Thank you.
But what you need to discuss as well is having that discussion and dialogue is great. You can say, even though you're targeting in spring, even though it's on March, you have to think of the weather, right? March is somewhat maybe a rainy season, and having that time to discuss, is that the best time where we want that, right?
I want to speak about that. On the write-up that I had submitted, I've said perhaps March end, but you know, for this item number 2, we are at baby steps. When I brought this up, when I wrote it up, it was for discussion today. Not that we are
That's why
aiming.
you should still have that discussion.
So no, I want to table that discussion because we want to attend the October fair and we want to see what it's like. And perhaps this may not be a health fair in March. Perhaps this may be something that happens in 2025 or 26. Maybe something else.
You can't table that because it's on the agenda. We gotta discuss it before we can table it.
But I think it's moot now.
No, it's not moved at all. I think this item that Lynette just discussed and is on the,
That will come up as number 6.
yeah, I mean, that's a separate item. That's-
So when that comes in,
May I
sorry,
finish
yes,
my
yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is an informational item that she's put on this. It doesn't require any decision from us today, other than the fact that that's just great, go do it, or something to that effect. But it doesn't require approval. Whereas the one that you have up here, number 2, does require discussion and approval or some disposition of that topic that should be decided by the commission, as opposed to you just saying, well, I just don't want to do it anymore. But that's kind of like not according to the Robert's Rule of Order or something. You know, if it's on the agenda, we have to talk about it. I think it's a good topic.
Can I make a
Yeah,
motion
so,
that the senior commission enthusiastically approve of the Grant Park Health Fair as a representation of the commission's support to all things that benefit seniors?
yeah, why not? I mean,
Are you seconding
no, but are you initiating a motion?
That's the motion.
Yeah, but this is out of order. What you're doing is out of order. So let's just go through and when we get to that point, you can say that. Sorry about that, but
So for clarity, again, any motion should be related to the agenda topic, and it is specific to whether or not the senior commission wants to take action on the senior commission's, kind of Chavri's report and whether or not the senior commission would like to move forward with hosting a health fair. The items, again, I know it's, when we say health fair, we have two agenda items that have that in the title, but they are two very different topics. The one that we are discussing at the moment is specific to the senior commission and Chavri's report. The one later on, as Commissioner Basigi points out, it's an informational item that does not require action by the commission. And absolutely, as it's been highlighted, we can figure out ways that we can engage and support. But they are two separate topics that we do need to keep separate. And just in regards to the motion that was just recently submitted, that is not, it's not in line with what the topic that we are discussing. So we do have to be, at least order-wise, we have to be specific to what is currently on the agenda.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
It's practice.
Okay, all right. So, Commissioner Basigi, thank you for pointing out that we should discuss this. Should we put it into our agenda item for next month so that we can all go through what I've written, perhaps have a chance to think it over? Because I've written out everything that I could think of, and I'm sure all of you have plenty of stuff that you can
Participate.
Is there a reason not to discuss it now, at least now that you've pointed out what we're talking about? I'm misled by health fair.
Yeah. Do we have time now?
Is there a subcommittee that can be more efficient, like it's 2 or 3 people to, for you as chair of the Senior Commission Health Fair?
Is there anybody who is free to join
Yeah.
a subcommittee?
To that point, at the moment, Chavri and Commissioner Basigi are the only commissioners that are currently available that are not on an ad hoc subcommittee. Because, Vice Chair Cohen, yourself, Commissioner Buckholz, and Commissioner O'Reilly are on the task force subcommittee, which will not be completed until the end of this year.
From Councilwoman Freiberg, that as long as there are separate discussions, depending upon the topic of the subcommittee, that a person can be on more than one committee. So I would ask the other councilwoman.
So I
Also
can double check, but my understanding is that
This is a yes.
my understanding is that commissioners are only allowed to serve on one at a time.
This
I-
conflicts with what the city council is suggesting.
I will go back to my, to verify which one is correct, but I would have to double check, but my understanding is that commissioners can only serve on one at a time.
Well, can we agendize your report then for
Yes.
the next hour?
With that, and I guess, my only other suggestion, hearing at least comments by the commission, is that there is an interest to attend the event that will happen in October. And maybe we look at agendizing, so once the commissioners have an opportunity to possibly attend the event in October, maybe we can look to agendize a discussion maybe for the November meeting to get feedback from the event itself, and then maybe look at potentially a future timeline as far, because it sounds like there is consensus that this is a good event to consider, but it sounds like other commissioners want to get additional information either from the event itself in October, and then maybe some time to look at future planning. So my recommendation might be to agendize it for, future discussion in November, so that you can take the information, from attending the event in October and insert that into the conversation, for November.
Is there any reason why we can't agendize it also for September?
You could, yes, but you just wouldn't have the, information.
Have the experience of
Correct,
the October fair.
correct, but you can absolutely, yes.
Thinking about what a health fair might be in the future.
Yes.
So what, I haven't read the book yet.
No, so there is nothing precluding you from agendizing it for September, but you could have an all-inclusive discussion. But after, the only reason I suggested November is so that it could include the commissioner's experience from attending the event in October. But if you would like to agendize it for September, you absolutely can.
Does that exclude a November agenda?
No.
Okay.
So you could,
It's both and.
yes.
We can do it for both September and November. All right, can we move to agendize it for discussion in September and then in September decide?
I prefer we wait until we go to, this event takes place and we can learn from it and then decide what the subcommittee that we form upon completion of this event in November, what that subcommittee charter should be, and what we should consider. Should we invite a speaker? Should we have some other form? Should we make it annual? Should we, there are a lot of questions that need to be addressed that we learn a great deal about by attending this. I totally agree with what.
Can we have a show of hands of how many people want to?
So, but that's just one person's opinion. There are 5 of us here, so.
Yeah.
So,
So do we have a show of hands for how many would like it to agendize in September? I would too. And how many would like it agendized later after this? We can.
Both.
Yeah, we can have both. So then let's move for September for an initial discussion and then November for a later. Can we write that down? Okay.
Yes.
Can we move ahead then? Shall we move ahead to item number 3, if that's okay with everyone? Item number 3 is work plan review for the 2023-24 work plan. Thank you, Jason.
So specifically for the work plan, the main change that you will note is under the final section, which was the community support and healthcare services. And I did add so that it represented the work that Chair Dixit had done. I did add that section, but that's the main change from the previous iteration.
Yeah, just that one. Just that one. Yeah.
You're talking about the last page of the work plan.
That is correct. It was to represent the newest ad hoc committee that was formed.
No, it was a single ad hoc committee of me.
Okay, so it's the one under it, it's under that general thing, and it's about the healthcare.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was my formatting mistake. I forgot to merge the community support and healthcare services with the cell below. So that should be representative in that section. But the only change again to the work plan was to add a reference point to the most recent ad hoc committee that was created.
Does that require any input from the commission?
No, and in regards to the work plan, the topic is to double check and review that all of the information is accurate, and or if there are any changes or updates that need to be made.
Do you want to say something?
I wanted to make a comment, I don't want to confuse the whole thing about the health fair, but I just want to point out that we are in the middle of a huge project of the Age-Friendly Cities project. And lots of stuff are gonna be happening in the fall. We're gonna be getting documents from you, and we're gonna be starting activities once the action plans. So we have to think about like the total scope of our work. And that, for me, is the precedent, that the action plan and what we're gonna do and how we're gonna implement it. So I just want you to keep in mind the workload of the commission and what's prioritized. Let's prioritize the work. I'm not saying we can't do the health fair, but I think it should be definitely later in the spring when already the action plan will be enforced. I mean, not enforced, but implemented. Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone have any other inputs on the work plan, commissioners? All right, then we should move on to the informational items.
So the first one that is up for informational items is an update on Age Friendly. So we have actually completed all of the data collection, which ended with the interviews with city staff. And it did cover, as I highlighted in the report, a number of different departments, not only from Parks and Rec, but city manager's office, public works, police, fire, library services. So we got a lot of additional input from city staff as well. So we could also understand what projects are currently going on within the city to add additional information into the project spreadsheet and into the action plan itself. Anne is currently working on finalizing the draft, and it is currently also with the graphic designer. So it looks like a comprehensive and very nice document. So it is currently being drafted, and the timeline, as I highlighted in the report, is that the task force will be able to review it in mid to late September. And then it is planned to come forward for the senior commission in the meeting in October. If that all goes well, then the plan would be to bring that forward to city council for a meeting sometime in, I'm gonna say November. It might be a little bit after that, depending on the agendas for city council coming up. But the senior commission can anticipate seeing the draft action plan in October.
And what would the senior commission need to do exactly in October?
Absolutely. You'll actually get to see and review the full drafted work plan. And so the hope is that the senior commission can review it and then recommend it to city council for approval.
Is there any opportunity for making suggestions to modify that report?
It would be during that discussion in October. Yes. So as far as review would go, the task force would make any recommended adjustments in September. Those hopefully would be incorporated and then presented to the senior commission and at the first meeting in October. Then any feedback or adjustments would then be incorporated and finalized. And that would then go into hopefully what is recommended by the senior commission to go forward to city council.
Okay, a quick question. Can we get the document before the Thursday night before the meeting? So we have time to really look at it? It can be a separate document that can be. Is that correct?
No, absolutely. Timing wise, I will definitely take a look, and the timing will be a little bit tight. I will only say that because the task force meeting is not planned until mid-September. And then if any changes come out of that, it has to go back to the graphic designer to make the edits, to then come back to staff, to then go back out to the senior commission. So it is a little bit of a tight timeline. We will definitely do our best to get it out as soon as possible.
When the task force committee meets with the cafe,
Yes.
can the senior commission be present?
Well, unfortunately, that would have to, again, it goes back to if there's more than the ad hoc committee, that would then be a special meeting if all of the commissioners are present.
But does the ad hoc committee get invited?
Yes.
Oh, then that's good.
Yes, the ad hoc committee is part of the task force.
Good, they're represented.
Yes, yes. So multi-level of review and absolutely various groups to take a look at it.
Then the next subsequent question is, if the ad hoc committee is invited to attend the task force meeting and they are privy to information, may they share it with the rest of the commission ahead of a September, item that is passed on via communication media?
Technically, no, only, just because that would be a violation of the Brown Act. Again, information needs to, that's why the ad hoc committee is created, so that they can kind of represent and do the work. The information for the full commission would then have to, again, that's why it's going to be a part of the regular meeting for October. Again, that is to just, again, the transparency factor to make sure that the public is involved for when that information becomes available, at least for the full commission.
Very nice. Then we make the ad hoc committee become responsible for bringing copious notes
Yes.
to our larger team meeting. And we will rely on those notes.
Absolutely, to your point, the ad hoc committee, and which is part of the task force already, would be able to speak to that during the commission meeting. Absolutely,
Will be agenda.
yes.
So I trust that we will be certified. How long does the certification last?
So the time frame that CAFE usually recommends for an action plan is 3 to 5 years, so that the information remains current. After that, they do recommend that things are updated, so that because it is a process, but basically they're projecting out about 3 to 5 years.
So once that time goes, we don't have to do this whole, this effort that we put in again. We just need to update it.
That is correct.
If we don't let it lapse.
Yes, no, absolutely,
We
absolutely.
don't want to let it lapse again, because it's more work, so. But we're doing it now, so it's good.
Any other questions? And these are all great questions on at least where we are in the process for age friendly. Okay. All right, so I will highlight a few of the general, and then I will turn it over to Chris. The first few I will highlight is, Family Fun Day. We have the one coming up this Saturday, actually, on August 10th. It is going to be an Under the Sea theme. Again, we get anywhere from 300 to 500 individuals here at the community center. It's completely free, open from 10 to 1. And a variety of activities, all geared towards bringing families to the community center. Always usually very popular. And then the other one that I will highlight generally before I turn it over to Chris, the Los Altos versus Los Altos Hills softball game is coming up on Saturday, August 24th. Los Altos is going to be hosting at Rosita Park. The first pitch will be out at 10 a.m. and the game is anticipated to go to noon. But I know Los Altos is hoping to bring back the trophy because Los Altos Hills has won the last 2 years. So we'll see what happens. But this is our sixth annual event. And then, as always, we are hiring for a variety of positions, specifically for our teen program that has the drop-in room here, the Juniper room here at the community center. We are looking for individuals to help support that program. So if you happen to know anyone that might be available or a good fit, please share this flyer with them. And then our Tiny Tots program is currently open for registration. We are just hosting our Kinder Prep age group, which is kind of the 4s, early 5s. And so registration is open. So if you happen to know anyone that is looking for a program during the fall, please let them know. And then I will turn it over to Chris to talk about some of the other flyers that are included.
So Adult 50 Plus submitted several flyers. Bear with me as I go through them. We have several upcoming workshops that are scheduled alongside our upcoming lunch dates. So these provide community lunch folks an opportunity to stick around for a workshop, or anyone can attend these workshops, whether or not they attend the 50 plus lunch. This month, we have Valley Transportation presenting age-friendly transportation on August 14th at Grant Park. Resources available for older adults transportating around Los Altos and beyond. Another workshop that we have scheduled alongside a lunch is Treasures of the Adriatic Coast, sightseeing Slovenia. Other flyers I submitted is an upcoming bocce ball and coffee social. That'll be here at the Los Altos Community Center, friendly games, sweet treats, and we're encouraging all the adult 50 plus regulars to come join us. We also have a mini trip headed to Hiller Aviation Museum. That's a fee-based activity, and registration is available through our catalog. And then finally, this is where we have Club 55. Club 55 is hosting a series of pop-up nightclubs. Those are held here from 6 to 8:30. Registration and more information is promoted here on this flyer that's widely distributed. And then finally, I will share the upcoming Sola Diwali, an annual festival, the Festival of Lights that has music, performances, and much more. The Diwali celebration is Wednesday, October 30th, and that's close connection to our Adult 50 Plus cultural exchange program that's available here at the center.
I hope everyone comes. All of you are cordially invited.
It's a Wednesday.
Yes, it's a Wednesday, October 30th.
Last year we loved it.
Yes, it was a lovely, it was very nice to see all of you there.
I met some people last time. It was popular.
And then the other flyer that I'll highlight specifically for Los Altos Hills is the Hoedown, which is scheduled for Saturday, September 7th, 4 to 7 at the West Wind Community Barn. So those are all the flyers that were included in the packet for the Senior Commission.
Page 9, Hills residents attend.
Go down, yes, that's right. They don't keep track of who goes. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people bring grandchildren, their kids, and there's horse exhibits and things like that.
Very nice, let's move on to item number 6.
Yeah, so the main that I wanted to highlight, and I have copies, this is the newest activity guide that was just released at the end of July. And I again highlight, this was actually one of the other mini trips that our Adult 50 Plus program planned to Pescadero, correct? And they got to visit and pet a lot of goats. So I just wanted to highlight that this is our fall activity guide. And so programs actually go from the middle of September through December. And the registration for these programs will actually begin on Tuesday, August 12th. So this has been out for just about a week, and registration will be opening soon, but this obviously has all the information for programs that will be going during the fall season. And then also just wanted to highlight, we have a big thank you to On the back page, our summer concert series sponsors. We've hosted 7 concerts this year, 4 at Grant in the month of June, and then 3 in the month of July, here at Hillview. They were very well attended, and I thought the team did a really great job picking a variety of bands as well. But just wanted to highlight that we concluded that in, I can't believe we're in August already, but summer is just about done, but I wanted to highlight that. But please take a look. These are available at all variety of places. And so if you wanted to grab a few and share, that's always appreciated as well.
I want to thank you for representing my peer group. You heard us when we said we'd like to see us on there, so thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is,
All right, let's move on to item number 7, Age Friendly Task Force Ad Hoc Committee Report.
The report is simply that which was given a historical description of what has happened and a verbal report of what is going to happen. So you did it all for us. Thank you.
Can somebody explain more what that means?
Jamie discussed, well, first of all, there is a history of how the age funding.
Yeah, I get it.
So
Thank you.
that is in the
Thank you.
pocket, and I don't need to repeat that.
Thank you.
You can read it faster than I can speak.
No, I know it pretty well, but I just wasn't sure whether there were other pieces of information that related to that should be conveyed, but
It's above your pay grade.
thank you. All right, I believe that.
All right, agenda number 8 is not highlighted. What does that mean?
Oh, no, so it's slightly different because there wasn't an attachment. That's why you see the difference. The ones that are highlighted in blue, there was some sort of attachment that was included. Wasn't sure, I just included the current listing of our ad hoc subcommittee. So if there isn't a report, that is okay as well too. But included it since it is a current ad hoc subcommittee.
Was there any input? Anybody had anything to add? Okay. All right, let's move on to number 9, staff oral reports.
Actually, I did nothing additional to add except for what I've already included.
One question. Any progress report you would like to share about what's going on with the grant for improvements?
No, absolutely. That was actually highlighted during Los Altos's budget approval. But we have it's currently I should say it's currently in the hands of PG&E, just because it's gonna it will require additional power to that particular location. And so we've currently submitted that request to PG&E. So we are in line, and once I have a better timeline, we'll absolutely share that. But that has been submitted their way so that we can have that. Once the electrical panel is upgraded, then we will be able to install the HVAC and the hot water system.
Thank you.
Yes, great question.
Very nice. Let's move on to the future work agenda. Yes, Chris has something.
So, I know regarding the different programs, and then to ask, there was a request to staff to find out what the attendance was, so we can get at least a baseline of what classes and what activities are actually attended. And so I didn't know if there was an update on that.
I thought we had done,
I
Uh,
had done something just by verbal, but I have not received anything.
I will follow up.
Okay, future agenda items,
We want to talk about the healthcare in the spring,
yes,
the senior commission. I don't know if it's.
it's the
Okay,
next
September,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be a next meeting. Any work plan agenda other than the health fair? You just said,
Well, right, of the programs,
evaluation of the programs, of adult 50+ programs, or all the programs?
the adult 50.
Adult 50, so evaluation of that, and you also receive reports before that can be presented? Okay,
So we have a baseline, so then we can.
okay, so then the future agenda is 2 items, the health fair, we should find another name for it, but, and reports back to Chris.
The only other part that I wanted to highlight is the meeting for September. If you remember back to our approved schedule, but, the first Monday is a holiday, which is Labor Day. So our meeting is scheduled for the following Monday, which, let me just double check. It is, thank you. It is, Monday, September 9th. So we will not have a meeting on Labor Day, September 2nd. I just wanted to call that out and bring that to your attention. Because that is our next meeting.
And we always have the work plan, so let's leave the work plan on.
That is correct.
That's an ongoing.
Correct.
Okay, ask a question later, right?
I don't know when.
It's not part of the senior commission, so. Well, it's just a personal question. Okay, go ahead and ask. Jane has a question.
I wonder about this, flyer for the Grant Road Health Fair. Could it be altered in any way, or is this in stone the way this is?
In what regard?
Well, I'd like to have, I think there should be more sponsorship. I mean, Lynette, for example, she spearheaded the whole thing. And it would be nice to acknowledge her as the leader of this group that she runs all the time. And it would be nice also to always have the senior commission on everything. Because really Parks and Rec, I mean, they're gonna participate, and I'm sure they've done stuff already. But there's gonna be lots of volunteers and other people as part of this. I'm just wondering, can this be adjusted?
I would request that you agendize it for, and I was gonna talk to staff about amending the flyer after this meeting.
So we should agendize it though for the next meeting? It'll be late though, it's September, this is October.
September, the event is in October.
I know, but these are gonna get distributed, so
I know.
wouldn't you wanna make the change before?
I would like to, but that's why I was gonna talk to staff
Okay.
about it ahead of.
So
today.
the only clarification that I will make is that, so the city does have an approval process for any publications that do go out that represent the city and the department itself. The commissions generally don't approve flyers, or at least we don't have that level of process, for city publications that would complicate the process if that is something. I don't know if that's necessarily the precedent that we want to set, but we can definitely, work separately on that.
I wasn't thinking about it being part of the approval process, but it's part of the sponsorship of the event, because we will be hopefully participating in it also, in addition. You know, we want to be part of all the senior stuff that goes on, so. Anyway, you're gonna just,
I'll talk with staff about it.
we don't want to be a part of the approval, no, we know that. Don't worry.
So I think we're at the end of our meeting. Shall we adjourn?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Robert. Good job. Good job.
Thank you, everyone.